Hi, everybody. So we're looking at something I'm very excited about. The ticker symbol is GTBIF, and that, of course, is going to be in the title of the video. This is a company called Green Thumb, and so what they do, at least a majority of the company, is they sell marijuana, and so this is a industry that's growing. It's becoming more legalized, and so I wanted to pick at least one company that was in that type of market to hopefully capitalize on the upcoming growth as this becomes more legalized and potentially becomes nationally legalized, and hopefully just capture that growth that we see as it expands throughout the various states and throughout the country. So um, I guess, again, before we get into it, if you have any opinions on this stock or have an opinion on different price points, sell point that I might come up with in this video, please let me know in the comments. And, I'd be happy to kind of talk it over and see just what other people think of this company. Um, so, another thing before I get into it, this company is an OTC type stock. It's an over-the-counter type stock. So I believe the situation with these OTC type stocks is because this is in an industry that's not nationally legal yet. Uh, it's not it's not technically, I think, on the New York Stock Exchange, but you can of course buy it OTC, which is over the counter. It acts exactly the same. I guess the biggest concern with a stock like this is, if all of a sudden the federal government decided to crack down and say, uh, you can no longer sell that type of product anymore, then a company like this would effectively go bankrupt overnight and you would just lose all your money. I believe that's like the worst case scenario. I'm willing to bet against something like that happening. So let's just get into it. Let's kind of see where it's at. So um, we do have a 3-year chart. Going back to 2020, this company's been around before then. Like a lot of the stocks that we followed, we were seeing a big peak right around, for this one, was the first quarter of 21, and then it's just been on this steady decline for um, about a year and a half, and now it seems to be stabilizing. So what we do generally is we just kind of track out a couple key points for this stock. It looks like the new low for this one seems to be, and I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit so I can get more precise with this. It's being a little finicky. Okay, so it looks like about 7. If we draw in the peak line, whoops, that's not what I wanted. I just want the horizontal line. The peak was right around here, around 38, we'll say. And let's zoom back out just a little bit so we get the full 3 years again. And I actually might just zoom in a little more anyway, just to get more in the details of this one, because truly it seems like the new high is like 15. So this is nice if, depending on how much like money you have available to kind of buy things, or if this is something that you're interested in owning a piece of. It's fairly cheap stock. But as we continue, so now we're going to look for what seems to be a buy point. So we'll make this a green line. And again, I'm going to zoom in because uh, it was in such a deep decline for that year and a half or so that we just kind of need to go off a more recent bias from like the past year, 2022 through today. And so as we look at this, to kind of catch the most, I mean, it's like right there, to be honest. I guess I would call it. I think you get the most right around like $8, and it just happens to be around that point. R line, because this one's such a small variance between the highs and lows, um, I don't like to use cents because I just don't want to get that detailed. So really, um, the sell point's at 8.20, $8.20. It's currently at 8.70. So for my purposes, I'm just gonna say it's $8. That's the buy point, and it's currently you can buy it for $8. Yes, I realize it's a 50-cent difference, which for this one I guess is kind of a big deal because it's just currently it's bouncing between roughly $8.20, that buy line, and about $9.20. So about a $1 bounce range it seems to be having since for the past like 2 months. But we're just gonna, like I said, stick to no cents. We just want to keep things kind of simple here. So it's currently at $8. I would say it's worth a buy at $8. In terms of a sell point, I think we'll just kind of keep it simple with this one. Clearly, it's hit a roof, a new resistance point at 15, and obviously a lot of potential to go higher than that. But that right there, that's a double up. So, and it's definitely possible to have that occur. It might take a little while, and by a while I mean like it did it once from July to December, so like a 5 month period. We might be able to see that type of trend happen again. I think some indicators. I haven't looked at it, but it just seems like every year or two, there's always one or two more states that are becoming more legalized, whether it's for medicinal purposes or recreational purposes. It doesn't really matter which situation it is. It really just adds more growth to the company in terms of revenue. Of course, the big concern is are the expenses going higher, especially in terms of taxes. Uh, Again, that's a more detailed thing that we'll look at as we continue to track this stock over the next year and potentially longer, and kind of build out a full position in this. But our final line that we're going to draw in is just to see if there's kind of like another intermediary type of buy slash sell point in terms of support or resistance. And for this one, I mean, it's not going to be like perfect, but it kind of seems like right around like $10. And again, I could move that up seriously just the tiniest bit and it would be $11. Um, but that's the line I'm going to pick at 10. So the fact that it's below that $10, I think that's good. And again, just like my reasoning for that is because back in June of 22, it hung out around that range and acted as support for a little bit. It did go below. It climbed back up, acted as a little bit of resistance. Again, it acted as resistance back in July through August. Came up, then back down, acted as support for a week. Came back down, but then came back up. Sorry about that. Let's kind of bring that right back down to right around here-ish. Right around here. And yeah, so then it kind of acted as resistance close to October, late October, early November. Peaked up to that sell line that we drew out. Acted as support for not really just a week, and then it came back down, and now it's just hanging out in this close to this buy point that we drew in here down here at $8. So I'm saying this is a buy. I do want to add a stock like this. I think it's at a fair price, so I probably will add this one tomorrow or at least some point this week, as long as I can remember to do it. So I'll bring up my spreadsheet here. So we have Green Thumb GTBIF down here, currently at $8. I'd be willing to buy it at $8. The difference is cents at the moment, so I'm not too concerned with that. And hopefully I can hold it till 15. This is a type that you could kind of build up a large quantity of stocks quickly if you really wanted to. Next, we are going to look at another marijuana type play, uh, just because these two seem to be the biggest in the industry today. Not that they're massive by any means. I think they might be both worth $1 billion or $2. So by no means are they small, but compared to like an Apple or something that's worth $1 trillion, yeah, they're pretty small with high potential to grow. And so these are the two that I felt were the biggest players today that have the best chance of succeeding 5 or 10 years down the road. So uh, that's it for this one. Again, please share your opinions or thoughts on a company like this and what you're looking for to get out of it in terms of a buy point, a sell point, and uh, yeah, that's kind of all I was curious about. So please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.